Hi guys, I'm back for this week's Great Pottery Throwdown Challenge. You have to excuse me, I've got a little bit of a hoarse throat, but I'm all good. And I can't wait to do this challenge with you today. I'm hoping it's going to be a little bit easier than the last few. Before we start, can I just ask you guys to like this video and subscribe to my channel, as it really helps me make more videos like this one for you. Okay, so as you know, I am doing the challenge kind of semi-live, so I'm just doing it in all one take. And I have a clock here, so I'm timing myself, and I'm basically trying to recreate the conditions that the guys on the Great Pottery Throwdown show actually has. So I have 1 kilo of clay, and the challenge this week is to throw a very tall, skinny vase. So a tall-necked, skinny vase, and I have 15 minutes in order to throw that vase, and I'm gonna do my best. Turn the wheel on, that would be a good start. So I'm working with, this is kind of my normal stoneware that I work quite regularly with in my studio. And it's really just kind of like a cheap, bog standard stoneware clay. It's called APC, and you can get it from Bath Potters. And I just centered the clay, and I'm coning up. And the coning action really helps to align all those particles. It helps to get the clay kind of all facing in the right direction and ready to throw. The coning action also helps to center your clay. So if you struggle centering, then do cone a couple of times, and that should help you. So I'm just going to find the middle and then open out. I don't want to open out too far because I want lots of height on this vase. I'm just compressing the base here. Now, one of the requirements on the show, well, several of the requirements was that Keith wanted the vase to be well balanced, elegant, and have a longer neck than body, which means we're going to have to do quite a lot of collaring in. Okay, so I'm going to try and get as much height as I can with my first couple of throws. And I don't want the body to be too much, take too much of the height of the clay. So I'm going to start making sure that I've started to collar in. And when you want quite a lot of height in a vase, you need to make sure that you're bringing up enough clay up here. So make sure you're gathering all that clay from the base and bring it up towards this top part of your pot to begin with. And then I'm going to start collaring in. So collaring is quite tricky if you're new to pottery. You just need to make sure that you have enough water on your hands so you don't get any friction, because friction spells disaster for your pot. And you just hold your hands around the clay, and you're kind of guiding the clay in and up at the same time. And this will thicken this part of the clay as well. So that will help you to get more height when it eventually comes to pulling your walls up again. So I'm collaring in. I'm going to color in as far as I think I need to go before I start to actually get more height. Okay, so now I'm going to start by pulling up from here, because I know I have quite a lot of clay left down here. And I did that deliberately because I want the neck to be supported here. I don't want it to be too thin. So I'm using my knuckle to start pushing that clay up into a neck. And my clay feels quite dry, and I don't know whether that is just the atmosphere today or this is reclaimed, so maybe it needed a little bit more kind of wet clay added to it. Okay. And as you can see, I'm using my knuckle to pull this neck of my vase up. Oh, now this is quite tricky because I feel like I need more clay here in order to get the height that I want. I'm going to color it in again, and hopefully that will thicken up this part here and give me a little bit more clay to play with. And as I'm coloring up, that's also going to thicken it up as well. And then I can stretch it out again as I'm pulling. It's really difficult because you need to have enough thickness up here, because otherwise you can't get your actual fingers down into the clay. Oh, what I'm gonna have to do is open it back up again and see if I can get a little bit more clay up here. Oh, this is so risky because I have loads of thickness down here. I can feel the thickness and I want that up in my vase, in the neck of my vase. Okay, all right. So this is risky business, guys, because I'm stretching my clay and reworking it to try and get the height that I want. How am I doing for time? Okay, I've got about 8 minutes left. I think I'm going to have to start just collaring this back in and controlling this top bit, because otherwise I'm going to run out of time. I'm going to go really carefully. I'm going to slow my wheel down a little bit because I just want a little bit more control. As your pot gets taller, the centrifugal forces on it become greater. So if you're working with your clay kind of very tall, you want to slow your wheel down a little bit. Okay, it's quite wide. I want it narrower than this, so I'm starting to, get that collaring going and collar it right in as I work up the clay. And you might find with collaring, you sometimes get kind of spirals or little folds in your clay. And that just means the clay is kind of like folding over itself. And that might mean that you're just going a little bit too fast. So you need to slow down your hands. Okay, so I'm colouring it, and I'm just really conscious about any friction because that can cause those kinks or spirals that you sometimes get, or twists in your clay as you're colouring. So I'm making sure there's no friction. And I'm just following that clay up very slowly with my hand. Now I have a little wobbly top, but I'm gonna sort that out in a second. Okay, so I think my neck is taller than my body, which is good. And I'm just gonna tidy up my little vase down here because it didn't have much of a shape before, so I'm just gonna give it a little bit more of a shape with my wooden rib. So it actually looks like something rather than just like a weird, like bulbous, I don't know, whatever. Okay, so how am I doing? Okay, so I've got a few minutes left just to finish off and tidy up. So as you can see, the top of my vase is like undulating, it's not straight. And you can be the best potter in the world, but most of the time when you're colouring in, you're going to get that kind of like wave in the top. So what you can do is you can get a little needle tool and make sure you've got enough water on your finger so you don't get any friction. And you can just put your needle tool in at about 45 degrees and just push it in until it meets your finger. And then take that little wobbly bit off. And this is actually still quite thick, so I could go a little bit thinner, but do you know what? I don't think I'm going to risk it because I'm really happy with where it is. And I feel like if I was going to mess around with it, it could all go wrong. And we've all seen on my previous videos that things can go very wrong. So I try and keep it all real for you guys. I don't like gloss over anything. Everything that happens in these videos, like basically stays in these videos. So yeah, that's my vase. I think I'm pretty happy with the way it looks. And ooh, I've got a little bit of time left, so I'm gonna just get a chamois and just neaten up this edge here at the top. There we go. And here's my vase! Yay! Okay, I'm gonna get my ruler and just see how tall it is. Just bear with me, and I'm not gonna chop it in half with my microphone cable like I did last time. Okay, so here's my ruler, and I'm just gonna see how tall it is. And the bottom bit is about 10 centimeters, and the top bit is about 14. So the total height of this vase is 24. And I think that's really similar to what Keith did on the show, actually. But let me know if I've got that wrong. Let me know in the comments below. But yay! I'm really happy. I wasn't sure how this was going to go. I thought, well, you know, the last few challenges have been really difficult, and I have messed them up quite royally. But this went really well, so I'm really happy, and I've kind of got a little bit of my mojo back. Yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. If you want to catch up with all the other great Pottery Throwdown challenges that I've done, they're all kind of underneath this one, so you can just scroll back through and there'll be consecutive weeks labelled. So yeah, this is my vase. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to cut it in half because that is how you learn in pottery is you make something, you cut it in half. So here we go, cutting it in half. And I will show you what the inside looks like. Oh, there's a lot of water inside, guys. Oh, it doesn't look too bad. I've got a little bit of thickness going on. So here you go. So you can see that it is quite thick down here. So I could have actually pulled more of this clay up into the neck and the body and made it taller. However, you do need kind of stability down here when you're throwing tall things. So yeah, that's a learning for the future. So maybe I could have made this a little bit thinner, but I'm really pleased with the thickness of my neck. I think that's great, and it's very consistent all the way up. So yay! Okay guys, thank you so much. If you like this video, then you might love my pottery club, where there's tons of tutorials, projects, recommendations, and you get personal help from me when you need it. So check it out. The link is in the description beneath this video. Okay guys, I'll see you soon.